CBS 2 News starts now.
Well, welcome to CBS 2 News this midday. This is a live picture of downtown Boise on this Friday, August 19th, 2022. I'm Luke Randall. Now the hot weather is here and I'll have more on how long it will stay around in my forecast in just a few minutes. But first, let's talk about the Four Corners fire. It's now threatening homes on the west side of Lake Cascade. The Valley County Sheriff's Office has issued evacuation orders for people in God's Acres and French Creek. And residents living in the Campbell Creek area, they've been warned to be ready to evacuate at a moment's notice. Now, fire bosses are trying to stop the fire's momentum. We just got an update. It's burned more than 5,500 acres and is sitting at 0% containment. We have a crew at the scene and we'll bring you more coverage today on CBS 2 News at 4. And the Moose Fire continues to burn along the Salmon River. Salmon River Road between Spring Creek and Panther Creek is expected to be closed for about 2 weeks. So far, the fire has burned 89,334 acres. As of this morning, it's sitting at 34% containment. And in just about an hour at noon, the 125th Western Idaho Fair opens to the public. CBS 2's Sarah Jacobson is there live with more on how you can get in for free today.
Yeah, Luke, this day couldn't get any better. We are kicking off 125 years of the Western Idaho Fair at noon today. And if you want to come down, you are able to get in free from noon to 2 o'clock. Now it is CBS 2 Day at the Fair. We're working with the Western Idaho Fair along with the Idaho Food Bank. What we're asking you to do is bring not one, but two non-perishable food items here to Expo Idaho, the Western Idaho Fair, to donate to the Idaho Food Bank. Everything goes right back to the community, and that is your ticket into the fair. Again, you can do that between noon and 2 o'clock just today. A great opportunity to not only have some fun, but also give back to the community. And what would the fair be without, of course, its agricultural roots, food? So that's why we want to give back to the Idaho Food Bank. Everything they do goes right back to our community. And I am joined by the president and CEO of the Idaho Food Bank. This is Karen Volk. Karen, welcome to the fair. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Nice to be here in fabulous weather. This is a perfect day for the fair.
I don't think we could have asked for better conditions today. A nice little breeze, too.
Yes, yeah, it's ideal.
So tell us a little bit about the need at the Idaho Food Bank. You know, we're just coming out of the pandemic. We have, record high inflation, a lot of families in need. Can you speak a little bit to what's happening?
Yeah, certainly. And it's true that, with the pandemic behind us, the need isn't as great as it was then. So thank heavens we have seen a relief there. However, we still do have some struggles that families are facing with the increased cost of housing and some of the inflation costs, as you mentioned. So right now we're reaching about 184,000 Idahoans every month, and seeing some increases in some areas. And that's why the donations today, when you're coming to the fair, you can donate those food items. That makes a big difference. We're going to turn those around very quickly and get those right out to families in need.
And it's amazing what you guys do. Can you speak a little bit to, people are donating food here at the fair to be able to get in, but that food really goes to affect a lot of Idaho families. Can you kind of speak to when the food comes here and then when it goes back out?
Yeah, I always talk about how we're not in the food storage business. We're in the food distribution business. So we work very diligently to move that food as quickly as possible. And we do that through our 3 facilities here in Meridian, and then in eastern Idaho we have a facility in Pocatello, and then up north in Lewiston. And that helps us reach out to all the communities in all the counties where we've got a partner network of 465 different organizations, community pantries, schools that help get that food out to Idahoans in need.
No, it's amazing. Going across the entire gem state from all the way in the Panhandle down here to the south, it's an amazing thing. And when it comes to giving to the Idaho Food Bank, even just $1 can help.
Oh, absolutely. And we make it easy on our website, idahofoodbank.org. You can donate there. And for every $1 that's donated, we're able to provide enough food for 4 meals. So we're going to turn that around very quickly into food and get it to those families in need.
I mean, that's significant, directly going back to families here in Idaho. It's amazing. Thank you so much, Karen. I appreciate it. Yes, no. And so if you want to come down to the Western Idaho Fair, again, we are donating to the Idaho Food Bank. You're able to get in completely free. It is CBS 2 Day at the Fair. We're partnering for the 125th year of the Western Idaho Fair to benefit the Idaho Food Bank. Again, what we're asking from noon to 2 o'clock, you come here to Expo Idaho, the Western Idaho Fair. You bring not one, but two non-perishable food items in order to get on in. And that is your ticket into the Western Idaho Fair. Of course, we want to have lots of fun out at the fair, but also help out our community. It's going to be a great time. We hope to see you all there. And coming up in just a few minutes, we are going to be out at STEM Day at the fair. A few community organizations, STEM organizations, have some hands-on activities for all the kiddos and of every age, including your entire family. We're going to take you out to all of that fun, so stay tuned. Back to you, Luke.
Thank you, Sarah. Look at the forecast as we look at everything in the Treasure Valley. Right now you can see the high temperatures for today: 95 in Emmett, 93 in Boise, the hottest 97 in Ontario and Harper, and a little bit cooler in the mountains, 79 in Stanley and 86 in McCall. And then looking at the clouds, you can see it is not that cloudy right now over Boise, but certainly some clouds will move in over the day, keeping things a little bit cooler. You see some showers. I did notice a little bit of drizzle this morning, but most of that won't really impact us. If it does, maybe for a minute tops. Most of the showers will be down in south central Idaho, kind of near the Magic Valley a little bit. They could be dealing with actually some substantial rain, but really nothing to worry about here in the Treasure Valley at all. Looking ahead to today, you can see mostly cloudy in the afternoon, and it sticks in the low 90s. So it is pretty good weather to go out there and enjoy the fair for sure. And then headlines for what we'll talk about in Maine weather in just a little bit. It is less hazy today. It was much less hazier in the morning. It's a little bit more hazy now, but it is better than yesterday. Thankfully, smoke from the Four Corners fire in Cascade and the Moose fire, it didn't really reach us as much as it did yesterday. Cooler temperatures today with that partly cloudy weather, but then things do warm up in the weekend, so we will talk about that in just a bit. And Boise police need your help finding a man who exposed himself in front of a child. This is a photo released by the police of the suspect. The incident happened near Avenger Lane in Boise back on August 5th. Around 6:30 that night, they say a man exposed himself to the child and told the child to come over to him, but instead he then took off on a bike. Officers searched the area but did not find him. He's described as a white male with red hair and a full beard, between 21 and 30 years old. If you've seen him, call Boise Police or Crime Stoppers at 208-343-COPS. And Nampa police are looking for a 15-year-old teen. Police say Samuel A. Newhouse disappeared sometime on August 13th or 14th. He's described as 5 foot 7 inches, 125 pounds, brown long hair, and blue eyes. He was last seen wearing a dark t-shirt, a dark gray or black hoodie, and blue jeans. According to his family in Nampa, he may be trying to go see family in Montana or Washington. Now, if you've seen Samuel or you know anything about his whereabouts, please call Nampa Dispatch at 208-465-2257. And thousands of local students are already back in school this week, but many classrooms, they're lacking critical support staff. CBS 2's Angela Kerndl explains what that means for students.
Caitlin Briscoe is down at least 2 support staff in her special education classroom. Without enough aides, her students are sometimes spending less time in their general education classroom.
Being in that social environment is so good in so many levels. It doesn't just help them to listen to the gen ed curriculum and be a part of that core instruction. Like, that helps a lot, but just having that social interaction and seeing kids their own age and being a part of that is huge.
And that makes it hard for the school to follow the individualized educational plans for each student.
If we are experiencing a shortage and we are having difficulty having the kids in their gen ed class, there's minutes to account for that. There's a time frame where legally they have to be there. It can make it to where services are not being met, which is really scary because at that point, I'm liable.
She says it just isn't fair to her students.
There's a reason these were written into their IEP.
Early this summer, the State Board of Education called the hiring problem across the state a crisis. Joey Palmer with Valley View School District says school has started and they're still short.
We are certainly in a hiring crisis right now, and we have about every position open that you can think of.
He says paraprofessionals are especially hard to come by since fast food restaurants and Amazon offer better pay. Even with a $2 an hour bump by the school district, it's still not enough.
It's a very difficult job. There's a lot of personal care, and people don't want to talk about the nitty-gritty, but you change diapers, you help feed students. Being paid, in some places even $10 an hour is not rewarding enough to do that.
This school in particular, Lakeview Elementary, has capacity for about 720 students this year. More than 900 are enrolled. That, combined with teacher and support staff hiring challenges, means class sizes are as big as 30 to 35 students. Bigger class sizes and fewer support personnel impacts learning.
There's only one person with so much bandwidth, so that extra support really increases the level and experience and quality education that our other students that need that extra time, they actually get that.
And with so much time lost in the pandemic, this year is critical for students.
Palmer says right now it's important for parents to spend time reading with their kids. Every night, just 20 minutes can make a huge difference. And coming up next on CBS 2 News, the Western Idaho Fair kicking off its 125th year. We give you a sneak peek of all the fun when we come back. Well, there's a lot to do this weekend in the Boise area. On top of a lot of people's list, though, the Western Idaho Fair. CBS 2's Sarah Jacobson is live at the fairgrounds, and gates open in about 45 minutes.
Yeah, Luke, we decided to walk around, see a little bit of a sneak peek of what you can expect here at the Western Idaho Fair as we're kicking off 125 years. And where would I be other than the STEM exhibition? It is STEM Day at the fair. There are quite a few different STEM organizations across the Treasure Valley, across southwestern Idaho, actually, here today with interactive exhibits for you and your family to learn a little bit more about STEM here in Idaho. So I am joined by two very special people. I was going to say, this is Dan and Trisha, again, with Swish Idaho. And so can you guys tell me a little bit about what we're doing here today? What is STEM Day at the fair?
Yeah, absolutely. So we represent the Southwest Idaho STEM Hub, and we focus on promoting regional STEM collaboration. So what we did today is we got a bunch of community vendors together to really promote STEM education, STEM resources throughout all of Idaho. And as you can see, one of our most popular exhibits and vendors, we have First Robotics, really an amazing STEM program that we offer, and that kids of all ages can engage in and learn about the engineering design process, robotics, and really engage in science on that hands-on level.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And they actually created this entire robot. They compete with these robots. Also, if you want more information about First Robotics, head to our Leaders in Learning tab. Now, Trisha, I want to talk to you a little bit more about some of these other vendors around here, because if I can turn you guys to see a little bit about what's happening here, we have an entire Idaho ecosystem for STEM. Speak to that a little bit, Trisha.
So we have 15 vendors here today, but we have over 25 vendors in our Southwest Idaho ecosystem. So today we have STEMfinity, Idaho Public Television, Discovery Center of Idaho, IDAYC, two different FIRST leagues. We have Idaho STEM Action Center, Girl Scouts will be here, Reuseum, several others, and it's all free. So as soon as you get into the fair, you can do some STEM activities and learn a little bit about STEM and engage as a family.
No, that's amazing. So again, for all ages out here at the fair, and it's learning a little bit more about STEM here in Idaho. Can you speak a little bit, because I grew up here, and this is one of the kind of things that as a kid I would have loved. So open for all ages. What kind of activities can they do here?
Yeah, so we do have a hoop glider activity where kids get to design their own hoop glider and actually learn about flight principles. We have a team here who's going to do a lot of music and rhythms. We have teams here to demonstrate all of the robotics available. We have Reuseum here making bristlebots. And then Micron is here doing a monochromatic coloring activity.
Oh my gosh, so much fun. No, that was amazing. Thank you. The amount of things that families can be able to do getting hands-on with STEM. Thank you guys so much for giving us a little taste of what you can expect. We appreciate it. And we do want to note that, of course, it is the kickoff to the 125th anniversary of the Western Idaho Fair at noon today. And you can get in free with 1 to 2 non-perishable food items going right to the Idaho Food Bank. So come on down, let's have some fun and say hi. We'll be back here with more from the Western Idaho Fair coming up in just a few minutes. Luke, back to you.
Thank you, Sarah. You're doing an awesome job out there. So much cool content. Let's talk about the weather. You can see a ridge of high pressure kind of just dominating over the Pacific Northwest. Thankfully, that's keeping all our weather pretty stable in the Treasure Valley. And you can see it's keeping it warm, but there is a low pressure system making its way across gradually. And you can see it's going to come about Tuesday or Wednesday, which is why we cool down getting into the middle portion of next week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we will be a little bit cooler for sure. Now, taking a look at the smoke, it was less hazy this morning, a little bit more hazy now. You can see just how much smoke is just emitting from the Moose Fire and even the Four Corners Fire up in Cascade. What kind of effect is that having on our air quality? Well, today our air quality was 35 this morning. But just a few minutes ago, we were sitting at 53, which is just in that moderate category. Doesn't look like we'll reach the sensitive groups category, but we are still in that moderate category, kind of hovering between good and moderate for most of the day. So something to note if you are going outside. Taking a look at the extended forecast now, you can see partly cloudy today, temperature is 93. Right now it's pretty clear in Boise, but some clouds will come in. It's a great day to go out to the fair regardless. Then you can see we warm up into the weekend, 98 on Sunday. And then we cool off going through next week. You can see Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all sitting at about 95 degrees. Up in the mountains, it's a similar story, but we have to focus on some of that smoke and haze from the Four Corners Fire and the Moose Fire. 87 degrees there up in McCall, and then on Saturday, 85 degrees. Things warm up Sunday to 89, then a partly cloudy day on Monday, 88 degrees, and then you're hovering in the mid to upper 80s for the rest of the week. So if you want more on the forecast, you can always go to idahonews.com. We'll have more from the fair coming up in just a bit. Well, new data is showing that drug overdoses in the U.S. are up significantly since the start of the pandemic. From March 2021 to March 2022, more than 109,000 people died from an overdose, up 44%. That's according to data from the CDC. And it shows that overdoses of synthetic opioids like fentanyl account for most of the deaths. Not sure how you're going to feel about this story. In a new study, it reveals that 14% of healthcare workers consume controlled substances or alcohol while at work on the job. The study from APN surveyed 1,000 healthcare workers, and they found that 21% take drugs or drink alcohol daily. Researchers say that many of these healthcare workers are suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder following the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, Sarah has been having a lot of fun at the Western Idaho Fair today. You can as well. Gates open in about 37 minutes at noon. So let's go right back to Sarah for some more fun at the fair.
Luke, it is a perfect day to kick off the 125th anniversary of the Western Idaho Fair. Now, it is a big day, and I want to remind everyone that it is CBS 2 Free Fair Day. That means that you can get in free to the Western Idaho Fair from noon when the gates open to 2 o'clock. All you got to do is bring 1 to 2 non-perishable food items. Donations go right to the Idaho Food Bank. All donations stay right here locally in Idaho. So while we're having fun out at the Western Idaho Fair, might as well get back to the community a little bit too. Some great stuff. Also getting in free to the fair. So what we want to talk about today is with Bob Batiste. He is the executive director of the Western Idaho Fair, the man of the hour. Here he is. You have been a busy man, Bob Batiste.
We have been. We're so excited to be getting ready to open for our 125th year and have you guys as sponsor for food.
Oh, it's an amazing thing. And
it is.
Bob, can you speak a little bit, because 125 years of the Western Idaho Fair, when you think about that, what feelings come to the surface?
Oh, it's feelings of joy to know that the community has been supporting this fair for 125 125 years. It must mean a lot to the community to keep coming out and support us. So as they keep doing that, we keep getting better and better, and that's what we're striving for.
Yeah, this year may be the best year yet too, Bob.
So. Yeah.
Well, so because obviously agriculture is the backbone of Idaho, and it's, you know, it's something that's been in our lifeblood forever. So the Idaho Fair, it's a big deal. And can you speak a little bit to the importance of agriculture and why we're trying to keep this alive?
Well, the very reason we're opening today, agriculture is all about our food. We don't want to get down the path that cornflakes come from a box and milk comes from a carton. Yeah, and everybody's starting to get it real sensitive to where their food comes and what the nutritional value is. So agriculture becomes a very important component for us. Even if we are growing as a city and losing farmland, we still need to be mindful of that. And what a great way to produce agriculture and have a food bank come out here and give food for it. It's amazing.
Oh, no, it is. Not only that, being able to give back to the community, but also having these kids learn about these kind of things, being able to start that at such a young age, that appreciation.
That's our next generation. We try to build memories, and so when the next generation of kids come out here, which makes me tick, to watch the little kids with a smile on their face or cotton candy, that's what makes me tick. That means the next generation is coming, and they had a good time here, and they have memories, and that's what we're all about.
No, exactly, for years to come. Can't believe it's 125 years.
We're just here to make sure it's safe, clean, and friendly. And we've got the basics down. Now we're just trying to make it even a little bit better.
Yeah, all we need is you guys to come on down to the Western Idaho Fair. All it's missing is the people. We got to get them down here at noon. The gates open.
Yeah, and remember today, noon to 2 is free. Thank you to Channel 2. We appreciate you.
No, of course. Yeah, no. One more time, we're just going to get it for those folks at home who maybe aren't listening. Noon to 2 o'clock. You can get in free to the Western Idaho Fair 125th anniversary. It's a donation right to the Idaho Food Bank you see behind me. Everything goes right back locally to Idahoans. Perfect. Some cool stuff. Thank you so much, Bob. We appreciate it. Have a great fair.
You too. Thank you.
All right. We'll see ya. Luke, I'm going to send it back to you in the studio. But again, noon to 2. 2 free non-perishable food items to the Idaho Food Bank can get you in free. We hope to see you there. Come say hi. Luke, back to you.
Sarah, thank you so much. You've done awesome work all morning and all day long. Now, our next newscast is coming today at 4 o'clock.
Watch for our next local newscast on CBS 2, today at 4. Connect with CBS 2 for your local news and weather on idahonews.com.